I want to look at the way the world sometimes views the church today. One of these ways is that they think that the church's message is just about believing something and going to heaven. And the other thing is they sometimes think that the church is judging the world. I think there's two things here that we really need to look at. Jesus' message to us was much more about following him and our relevance in meeting the needs of this world and showing compassion to this world and serving the world as Jesus has served us. This is a much more relevant church for our society. Also, Jesus was saying that instead of judging the world, we should be judging ourselves. We should be looking at our own lives and asking Christ to transform our own lives so that we can be a model to the world, that we can show the world Jesus transforming us. And I think this is a message that the world would really be blessed by, and they would really see the power of Christ at work, and they would understand the message. And so when we look at the scriptures and what Jesus is saying to us, he said to the Pharisees in John chapter 8, they claimed to be the seed of Abraham by racial descent. And Jesus said to them that if you were the seed of Abraham, you would do the works of your father Abraham. Now for us today, we can see that this is not just about believing, but Jesus is speaking about works. He's speaking about the transformation that his love and his spirit brings into our heart and lives. And whether we claim to be Abraham's seed by racial descent or by faith, the message of Jesus is the same. He's speaking to us, not just to the Pharisees. He's speaking to us believers today. He said, if you are Abraham's seed, even by faith, then you would do the works of your father Abraham. That faith would be seen in the way that we live. So our message to the world is not just about believing something, but it's about our lifestyle. It's about our lives and how our lives impact our communities and change this world. So Jesus is really speaking about discipleship, not just believing. Discipleship is very important today. Sometimes we look down on this word discipleship because it's been abused in the past. It's been manipulated by leaders and by men and by legalism. But I'm not talking about that type of discipleship, being a disciple to men. I'm talking about being a disciple to Jesus and to the things that he told us to do, to have a real, genuine impact as compassionate, loving believers, serving the world as Christ served the world when he was here. He said in the Sermon on the Mount, "Why do you call me Lord when you don't do the things that I say?" And so he's much more interested in the way that we live than in what we believe. But believing matters, but believing that the believing Jesus is speaking about is much more about the way we live and about the way we follow him. And when we look at the cross of Christ, how he died for us, for our sins, and the benefits of that cross, and how we celebrate that at Easter and celebrate that most of the days that we live, it's a wonderful blessing for us and for all those that believe and receive the gospel. Sometimes we hear that it's finished, that it's done, that the cross is over, but it's not over. Yes, Christ died for our sins, but he also told us to take up our cross and to follow him. So Jesus' cross is not just about the benefits, but it's about the model. His cross is a model for us, and he's saying to follow him in the world and to do for the world what he has done for us. So this is really the Christian message. It's not just about believing something, but it's about our life, the way in which we live and love our neighbours and our brother and sister and our enemies. And the cross is not just about the benefits, but it's about the model to us, that we would really follow Jesus and give our lives for the world and give our lives for our brother and sister, just as Jesus has given his life for us. So This is what Jesus is calling us to do. It's very easy for the church to believe something and judge the world. It doesn't cost us anything. But to follow Christ and to judge ourselves and to lay our lives down for the world as Jesus did, that's real relevant Christianity. That's really what it means for us to be a Christian, to be born again and to follow Jesus and to touch these nations with the love of Christ.